So, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know I don't really do multiplayer game reviews that much. But that changes today. Today we're going to review Valorant. It's a newer game that's a multiplayer game, obviously, and it's more of a tactical shooter. Based on CSGO, some people say it's related to Overwatch, but I don't really see it other than the operator system, which is in multiple games. So I wouldn't really call it that related to Overwatch. But that's besides the point. So, anyway, let's get to it. I would personally say that Valorant is a pretty decent game. I mean, it's a tactical shooter like CS, obviously, as I said previously, which I never really played CS. I only got my PC of Christmas of last year, but it looks pretty decent. And honestly, I like the operating system in video. I genuinely do. I know a lot of people hate it, but I think it's a good way to have a little bit more of a RNG vibe to it. Certain operators in this game are good for certain situations. Now, there is one complaint. A lot of operators have the same move, which is just a big gas cloud that is already useless in general, and I'm not a fan of this at all. That's why I like Sova. He doesn't really have this. But my main is Viper. And once I get him, I'll probably mess with the rest of them. But I haven't really touched anyone else but Viper, Sova, and Sage. But I have made a tier list of all of them. And I'll be reviewing that tier list right now. Should be on the screen too. Now, personally, I would say Brimstone and Breach are the worst. They're not very good, and their abilities are pretty useless most of the time. And I would say Sova and Raze is probably not far behind. Raze can be good, but she's too easy to use. Sova's just a recon, but he's a worse recon than Cypher, and he's not a total recon. He's got some other abilities that I haven't even used. And Omen, he's kinda useless, not gonna lie. Sage, she's pretty good, but her abilities are a little confusing. Her heals are good, and her res is also very good, which is the only reason why she's up here. But other than that, she can't really do too much, other than slow the enemy down, but it's not that great of a thing. In A tier, we have Phoenix and Viper. They're kind of the same character, in my opinion. They both have that gas cloud I mentioned that they can throw a little bit. Or they both have a different type of move that's similar to the gas cloud that still doesn't do much. It's similar to Sage's ice that she throws on the ground. But the only problem with Phoenix is he can sometimes stun himself pretty commonly. And it's hard to get damage with Viper because her traps are very obvious. And honestly, they're not that great. But Cypher and Jett is where it's at. Jett in the right hands can be the best, actually, agent, because she just destroys everyone. She's a bit of both. She gets herself in a great position while also having a great offense. And her positioning moves can just destroy defense. And she won't even need it, because you can't hit her because she's so fast. Cypher, he just knows where you are. It's not a question. Cypher in the right hands, he just knows where you are. And it alerts the entire team. So once you have a good Cypher on your team, you're pretty much set. You know exactly where everyone is, which for obvious reasons is quite overpowered, such as him being an S tier. Now, other than the operators, let's talk about the guns. The guns have this buy system where you gain money and then you buy the guns, and you get money for points, I believe. And it's not bad, but it's not great. Doesn't do that much. It's not like a Call of Duty gear system where you can select perks, optics, stuff like that. You can't do that here. It's just pick guns by buying them, which there's no paywall in real life. You get money in the game, and you get all guns instantly, but you, like I said, have to buy them by using your money that you earn. Now, there's also shields, which I never really liked in video games, and I still don't. It makes the time to kill too slow. Now, another thing is their abilities. Their abilities, like I said, attached to the agents. You can buy abilities, but there's one that you regain anyway, and that's usually your best one, and then the other ones are pretty lackluster. Now, your ultimate you can't buy, but there are orbs around the map that you can collect to get them. You may see some of these orbs in my gameplay. They're not extremely common, but they spawn in the same spots. And it's about, I believe it's 10 to gain your ult back. Now, also believe that for every kill that you gain 1 point towards your ult. Now, do I think this is a bad system? No, because if you're good, you get rewarded, which I like. The skill gap in this game is pretty huge. Not a lot of people play it who aren't that good at it. I'm probably in one of the worst types of lobbies, and I'm still getting crushed by people who get 23 kills, and I'm not even that good at this game. But that's just how CSGO players kind of are in this game. If you come across CS players, it gets annoying quick, because they just destroy you. For most people, Valorant is more of a newer experience, because most people haven't really played CSGO, but there are a lot of people who played CSGO, if you know what I mean. Like my friend Icy Knight. He has over 500 hours in the game. Yeah, that's insane. Now, is that insane in a game? Yeah, but he is extremely good at this game, is an understatement. He will pull 34 kill games. I think the most I've seen him get is 42. I didn't even know that was possible. I don't even think that's possible. Now, back to the main situation. I personally like Valorant a lot. It's a very good game. And it's pretty quick, and there are 4 game modes. I've only really tried 2, so I'm not going to try to review the other ones, but I will review ranked. I've tried unranked. That's the one I've played the most. That's the one that you're seeing on the screen now. Right? Unranked is pretty decent. It's pretty casual, but it also takes a very long time. I wouldn't say it's the most casual. I think that title would go to Spike Rush, which is another game that's pretty quick. It's where everyone has the spike, which is an aspect that I'll discuss now. The spike is basically the diffuser. Every game in this game is search and destroy from Call of Duty, which I don't really like, but I'm sure COD got that from somewhere else. Now, I would say that this game is pretty original, but honestly, it's a complete knockoff of a lot of different games. It completely takes CSGO's gameplay and really just abuses the operator system, which is fine. No hate given to that, but it's still quite annoying in that aspect. I had to look up most of the characters' names to even know what they are, and I probably mismatched 2 or 3. There's an audio segment where I forget the sage's name, and that's pretty bad. These characters are pretty forgettable. I didn't even rank one now that I look at it, but if I were to rank her, I would put her probably in B. Anyway, that's kind of my hero rant for this game. They're not that individual, and I probably mistook some of them. But anyway, my review of Valorant, I would give it around an 8.5 out of 10. Actually, that's too high. Let's give it an 8.2. I think that's a pretty safe review, as the game isn't too original, but it's not bad. I don't think there are any horrible aspects of it per se, but most of it's pretty good, and if not, polished. The gameplay, though, is a little boring. It can get boring after a while, and the colors are very, very dim, and the art style's not the best, but still somewhat enjoyable to look at for a little bit. Honestly, I think the cover art of this game completely blows the regular in-game art out of proportion, but that's a different story. Anyway, I would give this game around an 8, and it's pretty fun. I would recommend it, but not too much. It wouldn't be like the best. I think it was a little overhyped on this one. Anyway, that's my review on Valorant. Sergeant Sickness, signing off.
Drip and sip, drip and sip. Pull up in the gold, I'm leading. But them other man need feeding. I don't wanna go Bombay. Them I don't know what I do when I go from wheeling. Leading the pack in black and I'm on with a bat. Snapping with a phone and dab. Boss up a man with a duster. Put him in the drip and sip.